This podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use our promo code TBA Wrestling for $20 off your first purchase. Go enjoy the shows. Use TBA Wrestling.
Welcome to Gunners Are Us, where we are positively Arsenal.
And that we are.
And we're positively pre-season.
We really are.
And we're positively America at this point, it seems.
We are. We are very positive.
Yeah.
We are
Feeling
in
good.
Philadelphia. And if anyone's been following along, we've been in preseason across the United States. We've been in LA, now Philadelphia. I've bought the pass.
Yep, you're in. I'm not.
On the website.
Unfortunately, I can't stay up that late.
No, it's worked out well because they've all happened on evenings I can stay up.
Yes.
So I've enjoyed it.
Even tonight.
Even tonight, yeah, it's work. Yeah, I thought I was worried about it being tomorrow night.
12:30 a.m.
That's an easy one as well. Like the first one I didn't watch, the Bournemouth one, because at 3:30 in the morning, that's madness.
That's wild. I nearly caught the end of that game.
Yeah, we are live, obviously, on iTunes, Spotify, these kind of things. It's up every single week, but we're also live on TikTok, Gunners Are Us Podcast, 10 a.m. GMT every single week. We do a live. We've got Craig in there saying hello. We've got Duds in there. And Craig's instantly come in with, what do you think about Obi going to Man United? We're going to get to that in the podcast today. We're going to talk about Calafiori. We're going to talk about Obi, Martin. We're going to talk about the potential Moreno deal that looks like it's about to go over the line.
Yep.
We're also going to talk about just financial fair play, these kind of things. Who's impressed in the preseason so far? We're a matter of 2 weeks away from doing this podcast as a prediction podcast for the year. So it's getting very close.
Football's coming home in the right way.
I think the Scottish League's back this weekend.
It is. Championship will be not far behind.
Madness. Bet responsibly, but betting is back. So and in the podcast, in the chat, sorry, Chicken Noodles says, "Watch the podcast about." It's about Arsenal and about football generally, but it's about being positive about football.
Positive about everything.
So we're going to get cracking into that now. I don't think we can go much further than talking. It's one thing we are going to talk about is the talk of a game being in America. Maybe we'll start with that.
Okay. Relevant.
Because we're talking about it on TikTok. TikTok had a lot of engagement about it yesterday because I said I don't see the big issue with one game, competitive game being in America.
Yeah, just one game out of the game week.
Yeah, and I want to clarify that I don't necessarily think it's Arsenal have to be the home team.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to Leicester away being in Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is, and I've seen the back and forth underneath the comments of the video, people have an issue with the idea that Americans get something that's ours.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're already doing it with the NFL. And I understand that that's a different argument because NFL is a bit... I don't know. I don't think the argument sits well either because the NFL, they have 17 games.
They have way less games to look forward to.
Yeah, they have less than half. And the season's a lot shorter.
Yeah.
And it's a less global sport.
Yeah.
I mean, football is as global as it gets.
Yeah.
The Premier League, maybe not so much as just sport, but I mean, the Premier League is the most watched league in the world.
Oh, it is the biggest league in the world, for sure.
Exactly. So the idea of America getting one game,
yeah,
I'm not against it. I know people said, like when I put this up, people said, you're clearly not a match-going fan. I mean, I'll go to as many games as possible, but the idea that, you know, a lot of the sentiment was you're not a real fan if you're not the ones in the stadium every week.
Yeah.
So you're telling me of the 50, 60 million, maybe more Arsenal fans worldwide, the 60,000 that can afford to go to the Emirates every week.
Or live close enough.
Or live close enough because they happen to be born there.
Mm.
They're the real fans. Because guess what? There's probably a guy or a girl in India who is just as big an Arsenal fan as I am.
Yeah.
And just because I live nearer, I can go to the games.
Yeah. And we're only a mere 4-hour trip along the M4 from it.
We are, and we used to be even closer. And it's an expensive pastime.
Yeah.
So level of fan isn't based on money, isn't based on where you're born. It's based on how much you love that club. So I just hate the argument that they shouldn't get anything because it's our league. It's like, what?
On the flip side, I will say respect to the fans that do go every week, or the ones that can manage to get the games, because that is die hard. But at the same time, like you said, it's not always an option for some people. And I think throwing, like, I know we stay positive on here, But throwing negatives in either direction, I don't think it helps anyone, because, like you said, there are fans like us that we're not that far away, and we weren't before, but we know as much about Arsenal as they do. We just don't see the players in person every week.
Yeah, it's a tough one. In the group, Craig Collier says, "Are you going to the Emirates Cup?" And Score Draw 8 says NFL is more of a franchise sport, though. I understand it, and I mean, as it expands, you'd assume things like Arsenal. You got to think, if we played Leicester away or Leicester at home, but it was in DC.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great exposure for Leicester. So Leicester aren't going to mind. We're also in a world now where, because the only part I looked at it from was the sporting point.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose a home game in case we lose 3 points, because, as Arteta said this week, we need 114 points
you have to win every game.
To guarantee winning against Man City, you have to get 114 points. And I don't think that's technically true.
Yeah.
Because you play Man City twice.
Yeah.
So you actually need 112 points.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's being pedantic. But you need something close to that. So to give away a home game
that
you could lose because you travelled too much, you got tired, different pitch, lose home field advantage, seems mad for Arsenal right now.
You got to be damn near perfect.
But, I mean, Arsenal 5 years ago with Mustafi and the situation we were in then, I would have liked to have seen us play anywhere but the Emirates. Because it was like, I don't know, it was just a negative place.
Yeah.
So it could have helped teams. So there's teams like Man United that could benefit from playing away from home in certain games for the less pressure.
Yeah.
So I just believe that they don't not deserve a game.
Yeah.
I get it. It's an English Premier League, but we sometimes have Welsh teams in.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes.
But the idea that because you're not born here, you can't, you're not a proper fan, it's just mad to me.
I do kind of understand both sides, because like even when the NFL did it, it was nice for us because we got to see some NFL games, which we probably never would have seen before. But I do understand keeping it where it's supposed to be. I understand there's a bigger picture, like business-wise. I understand it's a moneymaker, it's exposure, which is all, if you're really thinking realistically, the idea of Arsenal having that level of exposure across the world only helps us.
Yeah.
It helps us financially, it helps us grow a fan base, it helps us with everything.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people's issue is they don't care about the growing of it, because that's not our issue.
It's not, but
like most people said, I'm a season ticket holder. I don't want to lose a game.
Yeah.
And I get that. Obviously, you'd have to, Arsenal won't, but you'd have to lower the prices by a game at least.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're going to leave it the exact same, and you just lose a game.
Yeah.
That's the issue. But
it's tough though, because if you strip back what being a supporter of a club is, and I think we discussed this last season at some point, the real reason of like being a supporter of a club is to financially also help the club stay around. I know that doesn't necessarily apply to like these level of Premiership teams, because they've got like rich owners and there's a lot of money involved. But really, the bare bones of being a supporter of a football team, this is dating back to before there was money in football, is to support the club.
Yeah.
So you're almost investing in your club by buying things like the kit, buying tickets, buying concessions. You're putting money into your club to keep it going, basically.
Yeah.
And it is still the case somewhat, because if they lost ticket prices, like if they lost tickets now, ticket sales, season ticket sales, people weren't buying the kit, it would affect the bottom line of the club, even though they are owned by rich. But there is financial stuff involved. Like there's balances. They've got to meet all these targets in order for the club to stay afloat. But
there's some other issues, like Score Draw on TikTok.
Yeah.
Said NFL teams can move state. Premier Leagues have a more loyal fan base that you could damage. Apologise for my throat.
There's definitely something slightly more fickle about the NFL. The status of the NFL as opposed to like the football of our football.
Yeah, but I guess it changes because people would say there's different types of fans, for example.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can quantify. For example, you're a very good fan if you go to the game. You aren't if you're not. Like we said, there's a lot of circumstances that could decide whether you're even able to go to a game.
Yeah.
Then
And a limited amount of seats.
For example, I'm all invested. I read about Arsenal every day. I listen to Arsenal every day. I do a podcast about Arsenal. I do a TikTok live about Arsenal. But it doesn't make me more of a fan than Jerry Jones in America, who just watches the games every week.
Yeah.
because we can't quantify it based on, yeah, but you listen to podcasts every day. It's like, no, he's a fan. And when we lose, he goes, oh, damn. And then he carries on with his life, whereas I am miserable for 3 days.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make me more of a fan. It just means I'm not in control of my emotions as well as Jerry.
There's levels to the fandom. I mean, look at Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, for example, only got to see one Arsenal game.
And it was a preseason.
And it was a preseason in the States, so there it is.
We got Bossman in the group saying, I'm a season ticket holder. I wanted to go back to Craig Collier says, I'm a silver member and only managed 5 games last year due to the ballot. And the ballot thing is a whole issue in itself. And I think Arsenal getting the ballot situation is all wrong.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I see that people are saying you have one game in America, then there's one in Saudis, one in Australia. It's a slippery slope towards the Super League where there's no home games. You play your games all around the world.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen, obviously. But someone under the thing had a great suggestion, which for me was put the Community Shield in America.
Yeah.
Or move the Community Shield around. Because
it's part of preseason.
It's still part of preseason, so the travel's not awful. We know who's in the Community Shield based on May.
Well, you know it a whole post to preseason.
That's
beforehand.
what I mean. Yeah, you're 3-4
it.
months. So therefore, if it's going to be in Miami, Florida, and it's Man United, Man City, they both happen to be in America at the minute.
Yeah.
They just stay out there longer and they do Community Shield there. But if it's in Saudi or India the next year, then you just factor that in maybe. Again, it's a lot of travel. We could go into the conversation of let's get less planes out of the sky. All these, there's so many negatives that come with all of this. But maybe that was for me the good outcome was put something there that's not friendly, but it's also not the real season. It's something that,
and it still has consequence.
There's consequence, yeah. Have we got any more information in here? Bossman, a season ticket holder, is obviously asking about the deadly striker. We stick with Havertz and Jesus. Do we break the bank for Nico Williams? These are things we're about to get into because we've had a little say on the kind of the fan part.
Because I think, before you finish the fan part as well, I know Goldbridge got a lot of stick for something he said about...
I listened to his podcast yesterday and I agreed with it and I wondered if he would.
Yeah, he did get a lot of stick about... people were calling him like an armchair supporter and stuff. But I think if you love...
But I hate the armchair thing.
Because if you love the club, you love the club.
Armchair support isn't based on anything other than affordability, where you live, and luck sometimes. Like with Silver, Craig in there, with Silver, he's a Silver member, and he can only get to 5 games.
Yeah.
You're not in control of that.
No.
I've not missed an Arsenal game in probably 15 years.
Yeah. Even though you're out of the country.
Yeah. Yeah. I will see the game. If I'm in America, I'll see it. If I'm here in Wales, I'll see it. When I was back in England, I would see it. I would try to get as many games as I physically could based on money and time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't make me less of a fan. Armchair, I hate the idea of armchair fans. And the reason why NFL came over here was because they realised there was actually a big fan base in the UK.
Yeah.
They fill out Wembley 4 or 5 times a year now.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a big audience for it. And again, you're not going to get the authentic experience. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. If I want to experience Dallas Cowboys, I need to go to Dallas and go in that stadium and experience that. I saw them at Wembley and it was fun, but it didn't feel like I'd watched the Dallas Cowboys. The boss man in the chat is out of control. He's getting loads of comments in, which is brilliant. He said he's got 2 Arsenal tattoos. Well, I'll join you soon because that'll probably be my first one.
Well, my first one is also, but I've been banking it on us winning the league.
Joe's waiting to win the league, so he might wait forever. Getting back to transfers, because I think that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
We've done our little monologue on fans around the country, around the world, and what they deserve and what they don't, which is mad. But Calafiori was signed this week.
It happened. It actually happened.
Is it real?
I think at this point we could safely say it's all real. He's real. He's an Arsenal fan. He's come home.
Well, yeah. The picture is fake.
Yeah.
But he very much came to Arsenal, was it Palace? In January, the one where we won 5-0.
Yeah.
And I guess he decided, because Arteta said in his press conference that on the phone he didn't really have to convince him. He had said, my bags are packed, they're by the door, please let me come. And Arteta said, I didn't think we could get that deal done before speaking to him.
Yeah.
Because he genuinely thought that he might not be available because of people like Madrid being involved and all these other teams.
And also that weird thing of Italian footballers.
Don't leave Italy.
They don't really leave Italy. Especially like you were telling me last night. Defenders from Italy famously don't leave Italy.
Yeah.
Didn't, was it Chiellini you said? They said he's potentially
ruining his career. And I get where they're coming from because Italy are very protective. Hence why Balotelli is the only Italian to ever win the Premier League.
Yeah.
Jorginho's tried twice this last couple of years. And he's tried with Chelsea as well.
Now we can help too.
We've got two potentially. But I think it's just a different game. I think I get it. But Juventus and Milan's and that aren't the teams that they were when Bonucci, Chiellini and these guys were about.
No.
I think you do have to go abroad. And I think with him, I don't know what the lure was for him to come to England because it seemed like he had an Italian girlfriend that they broke up because of this.
Yeah. That's how much he loves Arsenal.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't know the Calafiori story, I mean, massive injury when he was 18, when he was playing for Roma. Tore every ligament in his knee, snapped his kneecap, broke his leg. Awful tackle if you've seen it. If you're squeamish, don't watch it.
No.
He was out for 2 years.
Yeah.
He ended up playing for Basel. And after a year at Basel, he got sold to Bologna for 4 million.
Yeah.
And then a year later,
wow,
he's being sold for 40 million euros.
That is a comeback.
For a guy who was told you'll never play football again, and to be fair, when he was at Roma, Jose Mourinho said he wasn't good enough.
Wow.
To be playing at that level. And, a lot of people felt bad about it because of what he'd had to go through to get back. But I mean, a great time at Basel, even better time at Bologna. He was an unbelievable defender in the Euros. I think he was a standout, one of the standouts. I think people put down the two best centre-backs or defenders of the whole tournament. 2 of the 4 were Saliba and Calafiori.
Wow.
We have 2 of them now.
Yeah.
Which is really good going.
I've never wanted a signing to work out more than I want Riccardo Calafiori to work out.
It's the defence we're building. I saw a hot take online yesterday that no one in the Premier League would switch their group of defenders for Arsenal's because Arsenal's have the worst group.
What?
Which I think might be the worst take of all time, and it's got to be like trolling because he was a Man United fan and said I would never switch our group for their group, and I mean we were the second best defence in the whole league last year.
I don't know. There's so much shade on Arsenal a lot of the time. Like even Saka doesn't get the respect he deserves.
Saka limps because he works through injury, and then other teams lose their players due to injury and they get frustrated. He's just playing for him.
Yeah.
And yours aren't. That's the only difference. Genuinely, that is the actual difference. The Calafiori deal, I think, is really good because it adds to that group. And I think we're going to lose one of the group because we're at 8 defenders now.
Yep.
I don't think Heaven is going to get an opportunity this year.
No.
Because obviously we had Raul Walters that would sometimes make a bench because we were that one player short, but that was because we were missing Timber.
Yep.
Whereas now we have 8 first teamers. We have Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and let's say Calafiori is the left back. That's a back 4. Then a secondary team for the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and Champions League nights, for example, you could have Zinchenko, you could have Timber with Kivior in the middle, Tomiyasu right back.
Wow.
And I mean, as far as those 3 of those 4 that I just said then, can play left back, centre back, or right back.
Wow.
So Ben White can also do right back or centre back. Calafiori can do left back or centre back.
Yeah.
There is, under the Arteta and Edu scheme, we'd like to have players that can play multiple positions. Yeah. You have 8 players that only Gabriel, Saliba, and Zinchenko are set to one place.
Yeah.
And that's good. Like 8 defenders is very good, but I think 8 might be too many. Again, game week 1, Saliba could come out with a big injury.
Oh, we experienced that with Timber last season.
Like Saliba could be the Timber this year.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you go, all right, we're going to have to play Gabriel at right centre-back and move him over, and then Calafiori in.
Yep.
Then Timber left-back, Ben White, cool. But then you're playing every 3 days.
Yeah.
Timber coming back from a big injury is going to have some strains in that. Okay, we lose him. Okay, now all of a sudden you've got Kivior, Calafiori, Ben White, and Zinchenko.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, even though we're happy with the 8, that 4 seems very suspect if we're up against Man City that week.
It's kind of what happened at the start of last season, though, wasn't it? When we lost Timber, it kind of threw that left back position into jeopardy. Even Partey played at right back at one point.
The season started odd because Gabriel had his head turned, obviously, by Saudi money.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know if Gabriel was turned, but I think Arsenal's heads might have been turned because they were offering something like 80 or 90 million. And that's
Maybe a couple seasons too early to release Gabriel.
yeah,
just yet.
Gabriel. You got to remember, Gabriel's such a scapegoat of Arsenal defense because when the league's going, I think everyone agrees that he's like the man. Arsenal fans will be like, I love Gabriel.
He's solid.
And then as soon as the season ends, he's the guy who everyone goes, maybe we could sell him. It's like, but he's so passionate. He scores 5 goals a year, which is mad. He's a solid centre-back. He does make the odd mistake. But, I mean, in a team in which you're going to build up from the back, goalies and defenders are going to make mistakes. Guess what? We've got the season coming up. Raya's going to make a mistake that leads to a goal. Gabriel's going to do that.
Yep.
And so is Saliba. They're going to score an own goal, or they're going to do an errant back pass. Raya's going to kick it in his own net. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
We have to accept that now before we all fall into
It's not going to be perfect.
disarray in about 3 months' time. But I think Gabriel gets a little bit of not stick, but I think
It's because he's standing next to Saliba, who's
a generational.
He's almost perfect. So essentially, Gabriel's playing the role of the grenade.
Yeah, I think as well. Saliba, I think looks great because he's next to
Yeah.
that type of defender.
It's the perfect pairing.
Whereas my thought on it was that maybe we were going to sell Gabriel next year.
Yeah.
And this is the year to get Calafiori acclimatised, and then next year he becomes the left centre back with Saliba.
Yeah.
And Gabriel gets moved on for very large money.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
Well, I think there does have to come a time. I was having this conversation with Dad this morning because I mentioned, I think, what you said about maybe starting the season with Timber in the defence instead of Saliba, because obviously Saliba's not going to be about. And kind of getting that partnership ready.
Yeah.
And then once Saliba comes back in, then we have some options. And Dad's response, because I said about the idea of selling Gabriel later on, and Dad didn't want to lose Gabriel.
No.
But we were talking about it the other day. There has to come a day where you start selling first-team players.
Yeah, we haven't done it. We haven't sold a first team, like a proper first team player in 3 or 4
I mean, I'd rather
3
not.
years.
I'd rather keep this gang together, but
Yeah.
financially and stuff, you have to kind of eventually move on to the next stage.
Yeah.
And Arteta's very good at moving on to the next stage, which you don't expect.
He tends to move on to the next stage without you realising you have.
Yeah.
And then he sells the player that was a first teamer but now isn't.
Yeah.
So, for example, if we sold Jesus now, we wouldn't consider us selling a first teamer.
No.
Because we've got used to Havertz being the number 9.
But when him and Zinchenko originally came in,
And Ramsdale, we couldn't imagine an Arsenal without Ramsdale, Zinchenko, or Jesus in it, because that first good year we had 2 years ago was so reliant on those 3 players playing, and even Partey.
Yeah.
Whereas we're beyond Partey, obviously they're all great. I wouldn't want to sell any of those guys.
No.
I'd want them all to be in the squad because, for example, the other night we played against Man United. As that game went on, we happened to get stronger and stronger. Our substitutions were Salah, it was Partey, it was Havertz, Martinelli, Gabriel, Kivior, Eddie.
Yep.
And I mean, we started 80% strong.
Yep.
We ended 80% strong. Whereas Man United started at 80% strong and then became 10% strong by the end.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as depth, and you're talking about Goldbridge, we're talking about weekly wages. And Man City's weekly wages are around 3.7 million.
Yeah.
And ours is around 3 million.
Yeah.
And Man United's is about 3.7 million, which is the same as Man City. And Liverpool's is around 2.6 million. So Liverpool are 1.1 million under Man City of weekly wage, and we're 700,000, which 700,000 is 4 or 5 very good football players.
Yeah.
Which, if you put that up against a Man City, the difference between us and them, us competing fully with them, is having 7 new players right now of Calafiori level. So it's the equivalent of going and selling Eddie and Nelson, but you get Moreno, Ruiz, Calafiori.
Maybe a striker.
You bring in, Gyökeres.
Yep.
And then you go and get a winger, maybe not of Nico Williams level, because that's a bigger deal. An Eze or maybe an Abri on a loan or something. Where when you look at the first team 11, when you look at the bench, you go, oh, every single player there should be playing.
Yeah.
And then beyond that bench, there's a couple that you go, oh, why are they not playing?
Yeah.
That's the depth that Man City have. When they look at, they've got Diaz, they've got Ake, Akanji, Guardiola, Stones. No one's ever questioning how to get all 5 of them in. They're not going to.
No.
We got Jack in the chat saying, all right.
Hello, Jack.
Yeah, you don't have to get them all in. You just need that depth that, guess what? You're going to play every 3 days. And Arteta's got to get used to this. You have to switch the team.
Yeah.
Because once he finds a winning formula, he stays in patches.
Yeah.
So if you remember, Kivior came into the team in January after Dubai. We won how many of that purple patch where we were just scoring a load?
Yeah.
Kiwior stayed in that team the whole time because he was a part of the team that started doing
It was
well.
working, yeah.
And then once it went slightly wrong, he changed it, and then he found a new one and stuck to that to the end. What he needs to do is just constantly evolve it. So, maybe Gabriel Saliba, something like a partnership like that,
Yeah.
that needs to play. Saka, Odegaard, and White on the right.
Yeah.
You need all three to play to get the best out of all three. But you can also go and change the left-hand side, or you could change the left back, or maybe you could get a right back that's going to do what Ben White's doing. Mm-hmm. But as long as 2 out of the 3 are there, and you need these combinations.
It's making sure also that depth, when it does come on, plays to the same standard and urgency of that first team. Because I think his fear, and we were talking about micromanaging on our other podcast, the Peppercorn Boys.
Peppercorn Boys, go listen to it.
It's a little bit like he finds that first 11. They're all functioning perfectly. How we expect Arsenal to play week in, week out. The minute it changes slightly, the tempo's not there. The speed's not there that they move the ball at. Everything's just slightly off. And I think that's his fear. And that comes with a little bit of micromanaging because he's now scared to lose that first 11 that are flying on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And then when that second team comes in, it's making sure that second group can come in at the same pace that the other team comes in.
Yeah, I think it was a trust thing. I think off the bench last year, when he looked at his bench, imagine a normal 11, he trusted Martinelli to take over Trossard.
Yeah.
He trusted Jesus to take over... I say he trusted Jesus to take over Havertz. He did, but he didn't trust it enough to have Havertz off the pitch.
Yeah.
So there's players like Havertz, Odegaard, Rice, who he couldn't understand how he could have them not on the field.
Yeah.
And that's because they're big duel winners. And
Absolute
we know
soldiers.
we know how much he loves a duel.
Yeah.
But that's why you need players like Moreno. That's why he loves Xhaka. You need those players that he trusts. You need him to trust Partey like he trusts Rice, but he doesn't. He trusts Partey 80%.
Yeah.
And then there's he'll bring Jesus on for Havertz, but he'll just move Havertz into midfield.
Yeah.
And then the whole system feels a bit wrong. But it's because he can't handle not having Havertz on because he knows he's going to win a lot of duels or tackles. So he needs, when he looked at the bench, he looked at Martinelli, he looked at Jesus, he looked at Eddie.
Yeah.
He looked at Vieira, he looked at Smith Rowe. He didn't really trust any of them.
No.
Except maybe he trusts Martinelli. But there was a point in this season where he did stop trusting him a little bit because of tracking back.
He dropped off, yeah.
So he needs to... His level of trust is very high.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be almost perfect.
Yeah.
But he needs that 11. You imagine that 11. If we're looking at Raya, Ben White, let's say it's Calafiori for now, Saliba, Gabriel, Rice, Odegaard, let's say it's Moreno who comes in.
Yep.
Let's say it's Trossard, Havertz, and Saka.
Yep.
You got to look at the bench then and go, all right, Martinelli's there, he trusts him. Jesus is there, he trusts him. Let's say it's Ramsdale on the bench for the goalie.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if he trusts him, so do we need to change that?
Yeah.
On the bench there, you would have Timber, Tomiyasu, he trusts them. Jorginho, he trusts him.
Yeah.
Then maybe another player in there. Instead of it being Nelson or Eddie or someone like that, or Smith Rowe or Vieira, maybe it's Vieira and Sane, for example, which has been talked about this week.
There was some talk, yeah.
But do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden he looks at that team and goes, all right, if I need to change the right back, I'm happy.
Yeah.
If I need to change left back, I'm happy. Centre back, happy. If I need to change Rice, I'm happy. Jorginho's there. Moreno, I'm happy. Vieira's there. Jesus, Havertz, Sane, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard.
Yeah.
He needs to look at that and every 11 starts that way. And I'm talking if we have 2 injuries, the 2 players that come in there, if it's Ethan and Wary, I hope.
Yeah.
And another player, and then maybe it's another defender like Zinchenko or Lewis Skelly. He has to trust him implicitly. Otherwise, we're going to do what we always do, which is run out of steam.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to change the winning formula. He's making changes late on in games. At half time, just take off Ben White for Timber.
Yeah.
Get used to that. Because the more he plays, the more used to that side he's going to get.
Yeah.
I just think it's a something that he has to get better at.
How crazy, though, is it that we're in a position now where we can have a conversation like this and it's actually a real thing? Not like talking about the team as if saying, like, we need depth, we need this player to also be this player. We're actually at a point now where everyone almost matches each other across the field.
Yeah.
And it's actually happening. And Arsenal have put that together to a point now where we can actually enjoy the process. Like, what Arteta and Edu are doing, after all this is said and done, needs to be studied.
Yeah.
From behind the scenes to the pitch.
Yeah.
All of it needs to be studied.
I really want them to win something.
Yeah.
Just because otherwise people are going to go, oh, they were Pochettino Spurs.
Yeah.
Which I cannot stand that even, Pochettino and Spurs didn't really. People say they challenged for a title. They didn't.
No.
They went to a Champions League final, which was very good.
Yeah.
But it was a 5-year spell. We're 2 years into. We've been with Arteta nearly 5 years.
Yeah.
But the spell has been 2 years.
Yeah.
This would be our number 3. If this spell goes 5 years, I believe they win a title. If they carry on at the level they're currently at for 3 more years, with Pep leaving, with Liverpool in transition, Chelsea buying every player in the world, Man United not sure what they're doing, the 115 charges potentially.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe we win a title or something in the next 3 years. But can we? You looked at it with Liverpool versus Pep versus Klopp. Liverpool basically challenged, then dropped off. Challenged, dropped off. Won the league, dropped off. That's kind of, you can't keep up that level because no one else, like we said earlier with the wages, you can't compete with a team that have 8 or 9 more players than you.
Yeah.
That are actively good enough to start for Man City.
Yeah.
And Man City squad is 22 deep of players that could start any given game.
Yeah.
And everyone would be like, nah, that's a strong team.
Yeah.
Whereas Liverpool have a strong 11, 3 players off the bench you're happy with, and then 4 or 5 that you're not sure about.
Yep.
Arsenal are pretty much the same. To challenge, you need to have, like I said, that bench of 9, let's say, has to be the top. You know, if Saka drops out, we don't mind anymore.
No.
Because Sane's there or someone. And that's something we need to talk about, some transfer news. Because Calafiori is complete, it is done. It looks like it's a 5-year deal. He seems extremely happy to be there.
He does.
I quite like his demeanour.
Yeah.
But
big fan.
I'm hoping we get eyes on him tonight in Philadelphia against Liverpool.
That'd be nice.
I'll be watching. The other signings that or ingoings, outgoings, Smith Rowe completed his medical.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he left the Fulham training ground yesterday. It looks like it's going to be 27 million up front with around, I think it's 8 million in add-ons or something. 9 million. It'd be a club record for Fulham and for us.
There's no buyback clause in there, is there, anywhere?
Originally, I heard there was, but at the minute, we don't know any specifics.
Okay.
But a buyback clause would be nice, because if he goes unreal... I think he's going to be very similar to Willock and Iwobi. I rate Smith Rowe higher than I did Willock and Iwobi.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, because Willock and Iwobi were very solid, good players. Willock never really got a full chance in the team.
Yeah.
Smith Rowe has. He was a big part of this turnaround that we talk about since Boxing Day against Chelsea 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But that season, Smith Rowe scored 10 goals and got 5 assists.
Yeah.
We thought he was the future. And then for the next 2 years when we've challenged, he hasn't been good enough or he's been injured.
Injuries.
And I love the guy. And Iwobi, if you watch him at Fulham, looks good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when you watch it, you go...
Well, that's kind of what we're hoping for Smith Rowe, though. He actually gets time to start first team for a team for a team in the Premier League. We can see what he's actually capable of week in, week out, providing, touchwood, he doesn't get injured. Because I'm personally very happy for him. It's sad that he's gone.
Yeah.
Very similar to if Ramsdale leaves. I'll be sad that he's not there.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy he gets the opportunity to play week in, week out. It's very similar to the Jack Wilshere situation.
Yeah.
Very talented football player, but never quite hit the potential because of injuries.
And a big part of potential and big part of being a good player is the best availability is being available. If that
Staying
makes sense.
fit, yeah.
The biggest talent in football is being available. That is a part you have to look at. And I know that's not something he's in control of necessarily. No. He might be as far as diet, training, things like that. And we know he's had an issue with that in the past.
Yeah.
But when you watch Iwobi, I watch him at Fulham and I go, do you know what? He's really good. He's one of their best players.
Yeah.
But I still don't think he gets into our current team.
No.
He sits on the bench and he plays very minimal amount of time.
Yeah, it's levels.
I'm hoping, for my sake and my mental health, that Smith Rowe's the exact same.
Yeah.
You go, wow, he's really good, but he still wouldn't get into our team.
Yeah.
And I can live with that.
Yeah.
If he goes there and he's Morgan Gibbs-White in it, then I'm going to be like, why have we done this?
But again,
it's different teams.
It's different.
Like we talked about with Eddie. Eddie does okay at Arsenal. He's going to do much better at Brentford or Marseille or someone because Arsenal play against a low block.
Yep.
A guy who's basing his whole thing on running in behind. Mm-hmm. You can't run in behind when the goal is here, the defence is here.
Yeah.
So when he goes to Marseille and the defences are here, he's going to have a load of joy and everyone's going to go, we had our potent goal scorer. It's like, no, because to be a potent goal scorer at Arsenal is very different to there. For example, Haaland's goals at Dortmund was him busting through from the halfway line and running all the way to goal.
Yep.
For Man City, his goals are tap-ins and headers.
Yeah.
Because he's this close. He's just a generational talent that can evolve into whatever he needs.
He's freaky.
But yeah, so Calafiori is done. Like to get eyes on him. The Smith Rowe looks like he's going to go. Nelson, there's very minimal talk. There's talk of Leicester and a couple others, West Ham, but not much talk happening. But as far as Eddie goes, I think Nelson might end up going on loan. As far as Eddie goes, I saw this morning that Marseille it's going along. You know, it's moving, but the deal they're looking to put in place is £17 million.
Okay.
Which, for the top goal scorer for England under 21s, having played, I mean, he's got to be 100 Arsenal games.
He's played
in the Champions League. He's scored goals. He's got hat tricks in the Premier League. £17 million would be absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Unless there's a load of add-ons, because apparently Arsenal are happy with it. But it's based on the deal. So I wonder if before, when they were looking at 30 to 40 million, it was 35 million for Eddie Nketiah, but it was 10 million up front.
Yeah.
And then 5 million every year for the year, or I don't know. Maybe it was something like that, because apparently we seem very excited about the deal that's been given to Eddie, because I think it might be 17 to 20 million up front.
Okay.
Plus add-ons.
That's pure profit.
So which is pure profit for Hale End. For financial fair play, I wonder if they're willing to drop 10 million based on getting stuff done now and players that they need now. The other player was Sane. Sane is the mystery German that we've seen in that video that's gone around of someone trying to move back to England. It looked like Bayern's targets fell through, so Sane's not looking to stay, but it seems more likely staying. But his deal is coming up.
Okay.
And he hasn't re-signed yet.
That would be an exciting signing.
Yeah, people were talking about 60 million with like a year left on his deal, plus 300,000 a week. We should not be breaking the bank for Sane. No. I think he's very good. I prefer Gnabry. Yeah. But I mean, I think Sane is a world-class player, and he adds a wild card element to the team. Talk about direct. But for me, Sane needs to be half that money. Yeah. And half that wage.
How old is he now? He's not young.
I don't think he's old. I think he's probably 28, 29.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but that's when he was at City, he was young, wasn't he? 22, 23. Yeah. So he's very direct, he's very aggressive.
Game changer.
He's someone who could, if Saka could have a game off and we wouldn't be disappointed. No. He's very direct. So yeah, I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't mind us. It was a question in the TikTok earlier. I don't mind us not looking at a striker. Yep. Because for me, it's about Martinelli and Trossard. We're very happy with on that side. Yeah. We've added Calafiori to the build-up on that side. This side, we're very happy with Ben White, Saka, and Odegaard, and the backup of, let's say it was Sane. Yeah. Then up front, you've got Jesus and Havertz. Trossard can also play there in a pinch because he's very good. Like, by the way, with Trossard at number 9, we pretty much never lose. I know. So that's an opportunity, which means you could potentially buy 2 midfielders, which I do think we need. Yeah. But it's whether they offload anymore, because we've lost El Nani to that crew of midfielders. Yep. At the minute, our holding midfielders, because I think he wants to play Rice exclusively as an 8. Okay. Is Jorginho and Partey. And I mean, one guy's got a bad hip, one guy's got hamstrings that are so tender.
They're both a little bit fragile.
But both really good players, but also athletically. That's why he likes Rice at 8, is Rice will cover them. Yeah. As well as getting forward, because he's a machine. That's eventually going to break him down. Yep. And that's not going to be good for us.
But there's options for Timber there as well. He does play. He did say when he joined us that he can play multiple positions.
But we've also heard that from Zinchenko and all these others. Yeah. I don't know. Would Arteta trust a defender playing in that position when he's that adamant on details? Yeah. So I think, you need to go get a couple midfielders. I don't think you lose any midfielders, because at the minute it is literally Rice or no one. Yep. It's Odegaard or Vieira. Uh-huh. I say it's Rice or Lewis Skelly, who's a youth player. That's a big drop off if your Rice gets injured. Yeah. It's Odegaard or Vieira. Yep. Then there's Jorginho or Partey. Mm-hmm. It's 6 players to fill. Like we have four defenders, 4 subs for the defense, but it's very high level, versatile. The front, Jorginho, Rice, and Odegaard is a world class midfield, but Partey, Lewis Skelly, and Vieira is a very worrying defense for a Premier League game, for example. Again, in the Carabao Cup, maybe absolutely fine. And there's people like Patino also leaving, which is also pure profit, like Smith Rowe, like Eddie, like Nelson. Ramsdale still might. I think Ramsdale might get a loan. Yeah. Carl Hein also looking for a loan. Wow. So we're looking for our 9th keeper of the window. Wow. But Gyökeres is apparently, we have been following him on preseason, so I wonder if that could be the big thing. Because I wonder if Sane might be done as a loan almost with an obligation next year or something like that.
That'd be nice.
To try and figure that out for Bayern Munich. So
I think, like you say, the depth.
Moreno looks like the personal terms are agreed.
That needs to be done because the way if you're describing that midfield like that, the depth isn't there where it is or everywhere else.
Yeah, and I don't think he trusts Vieira in the middle either. So Vieira is probably a right midfielder.
Yep.
Realistically.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's Odegaard, Rice, Jorginho, Partey, and then it's down to Lewis Skelly, and Ethan and Wary really.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you do need 2 or 3 in there to pack it out because people are saying sell Partey and bring in Marino. But then you're just back in that same position.
Yeah.
I think you keep Partey, you keep Jorginho, you keep Rice, you keep Odegaard, but then you add that. We've got Sophie over here in the TikTok. Hello, Sophie.
Hello,
here
Sophie.
every single week. She already sent a heart as well, which is lovely. Thank you very much.
And she's currently with us at work, so
hey,
fair play, Sophie. Don't get in trouble.
Yeah, don't get in trouble, but enjoy work. So as far as transfers, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
The Man United game the other night was a very interesting game because Man United started super strong.
Yeah.
They looked really sharp, and then after about 30 minutes, they got the injury to Rasmus Højlund. They got the injury to Euro, who was on crutches, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Which makes me think it's a calf or an Achilles or something, which is... The talk is that I think Goldbridge put out, which was, it seems apparently very bad.
Okay.
But they're not sure yet because they said no news is good news usually. So like if it was bad news and it was an Achilles tear, for example, I think he would have had surgery and that news would have got out and therefore it would be leaked.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's not leaked, it's probably because it's not as big as a surgery or something like that. But it still could be 3 months out.
That is terrifying for them a week after all the hype that surrounded him.
It was hype, and I mean, from the get-go, I literally said it on the podcast. He needs a year or 2 of loans.
Yeah.
I mean, to expect him to come in and just... with an undersized centre-back. GG's. To do well is mad. Like, you know... But they're back in. They spent all that money on this guy.
Yeah.
And now Martinez and Maguire are the starting centre-backs.
Yeah.
So we're back exactly where we were.
They were almost a little too sharp for a pre-season friendly, weren't they?
They've got an issue with us going in too hard. I mean...
They started it.
To go back 12 months... Martinez tried to injure about 4 of our players, including Saka, really badly. And his karma was he missed half a season, or pretty much the whole season.
Yeah.
This year, they came out of the blocks. Odegaard nearly went off with a collarbone. There was a few really bad ones. And then they got off-the-ball injuries to their own team.
Yeah.
And then we started going in on them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was just interesting, weird... These pre-seasons are not what pre-seasons of old, where you play a third division German team and you win 9-0. It's Premier League teams.
Yeah, and there's pride.
There's pride. So everyone's like, I don't know.
Playing to win.
Yeah, everyone's like, I know it's a fitness test, but I also can't lose to them. So it's a recipe for disaster, as Man United found out this week. But the game was good. I thought we looked rusty.
Yeah.
But we're clearly just better at football. I know that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think we are just a level above. So therefore they could just retain the ball and the squad depth was clearly better.
Yeah.
But Man United in that first 30 minutes, I was like, my God, they look... And again, they're a game or 2 ahead of us in the preseason because they have to get ready for the Community Shield.
Yeah.
So we expected them to be sharper. But to manage to get a 2-1 win, we lost the penalties. Onana did that stupid thing where he's telling them where to put it and then they put it there and he didn't save it. It was a very odd situation. But overall, it was quite enjoyable. I think the Liverpool one will be interesting tonight because I've not seen anything of Liverpool this preseason.
No.
I haven't seen Arnie Slot. I haven't seen anything. So it'd be interesting what team they put out and how they play under Arnie Slot because I'll get some good eyes on that tonight. Next week I'll report back.
Nice.
Because this time next week is the Emirates Cup, game 1.
Yep.
And then at the weekend after that is another Emirates Cup game.
A nice tough test and a welcome home for Xhaka. Yeah.
So we got the 2 Emirates Cup next week and then it's a week off and then the Premier League.
Yeah.
So this time next week we'll be getting ready for the Emirates Cup. We'll do our predictions for the Community Shield next week. This week, we've just got this Liverpool game.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll let you know what I thought of it. I'd like to do a secondary podcast. If we make another signing in between now and next week, I feel like
we will.
I'll jump on the mic because I'd like to talk about that signing plus maybe whatever happens in this Liverpool game. But again, the results are not an issue. Like Chelsea have lost 2 and they're really unhappy about it. And it's a fitness test.
City haven't had a good preseason.
City have had an awful... Most teams that have bad ones usually have good years. So
it's terrifying.
Nothing about the fact that they're losing is a problem, in my opinion. You just got to... I don't know. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. We're happy because we've won ours. Like, we drew one and won it on penalty shootout, and then we won one and then we lost the penalty shootout.
It feels
It doesn't
nice.
matter. If we lose 6-0, it might be a slight worry.
It's more about how they go about it than the result, really. Like,
Yeah.
as long as when you see it on the field and every player is kind of playing how they should be, the result doesn't matter as much. It's the performances.
Exactly. And in the TikTok, we got where you think United will place in the Prem.
Thank you for that, Adam.
Thank you, Adam. I have them outside the top 4 potentially,
Yeah.
or top 4. Do you know? Actually, I'm going to say 4th.
Yeah.
I think it will be City top, Arsenal second, Liverpool third, then Man United.
Hmm.
And I'm being optimistic on Liverpool because new manager, they haven't really brought anyone in
No.
yet. There's talk of Gordon, which is a mad one. But I don't know. I don't know. Again, there's so many unknowns this season. I think Man City are going to be Man City. Arsenal are probably going to be the Arsenal of the last 2 years.
Yep.
But I don't think we'll be as good as the last 2 years.
You never know. Our trajectory has been pointing us in the right direction. So if you are going to follow the trajectory of what we're doing,
But I mean, to be as good as we have the last 2 years is just tough.
Yeah.
Unknown Callum says Tottenham looked decent in pre-season. Yeah, and again, Tottenham looked really good for the first 3 months of the season as well.
it starts
Last
strong.
year they started strong, but it's unknowns. I don't know what Tottenham we're going to get. I don't know what Chelsea we're going to get. I don't know what Man United. I don't know what Liverpool. I don't know if Newcastle without European football are going to get back up to the heights. I don't know if Villa with Champions League football are going to drop from the heights.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns. The only thing I know is Man City will be Man City.
Yeah.
Even Arsenal could have a weird one.
Yeah. Man City's the only guarantee.
Yeah.
Death taxes and Man City.
Unknown Callum says, I think the season's going to be exciting. It really is. I think it's annoying if Man City weren't doing what Man City are doing.
Yeah.
It's a really exciting era of the
Yeah.
Premier League because I think so many different teams could win it. We could have won it. Liverpool could have won it. Man City could have won it. Next year we might have someone come out. Like Villa were in the top 3
Yeah.
in like February.
Strong.
We were talking about them having a Leicester-like year. So I think without Man City being Man City, it would actually be a really exciting situation.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping with Pep leaving and maybe the Chargers coming in. The next few years with Liverpool with a year under Arnie Slot, maybe Man United figuring out, Chelsea figuring out, Arsenal carrying on where they are, that we could actually have a competitive season where, we had a 3-horse race last year for the first real time.
Yeah.
It turned into a 2-horse race by the last couple of games, but I mean, it was rare. Whereas can you imagine a 4-horse race or a 5-horse race? Can you imagine if teams are going for the title but also could come 5th still in the last 2 weeks? As a Tottenham fan, I don't want Arsenal to win the Prem, but I wish you the best. I appreciate that, and we're positively football over him.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, and that's what it's about, isn't it? Naturally, you got to have some hate for Arsenal, but I mean,
You got to enjoy the banter, you got to enjoy the competitiveness, but you've also got to respect what's there. And I respect Big Ange and what he does.
Yeah.
So
Adam said, I think Xerxes will cook this season. Bruno, friend of the show, Peppercorn, he sent me a video of a Man United fan pronouncing that name, and it was so annoying, even though I think it's correct. Jashi. Yeah, it was something like that. But I don't know how that guy will do.
I tell you what, the unknowns of this upcoming season are spreading to my fantasy football team.
Are you going to go with a couple?
At the minute, I can't figure out who to put in there. I can't figure out how to keep the budget down. So I'm going to let it get a little bit closer and just see where we're at with injuries, who is actually going to play in the preseason. I had a friend at work give me a couple good tips as well. Ben, shout out Ben. I don't know if he listens.
Shout out Lissy does as well. Aura Point. Sent a gift. Love it.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lissy, in the other room.
Yes.
So I'm weighing it up, and I think we do need a fantasy football league for this as well.
Yeah, I know we do.
We need to figure one out for you guys. So if you want to join in, we're going to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm going to take any chances on likes of him or, even Hoyland on his second season.
I'll give you a tip. I'll give you a little tip. Ben at work gave me a little tip. It's Rodgers for Aston Villa.
Okay.
Apparently, with was it Bailey that left?
Yeah.
Or no, Diaby. It might have been
Diaby left.
It was Diaby that left. Rodgers has taken Diaby's place, and in pre-season, I think in 3 games he scored like 4 goals and 2 assists or something.
He's quite a good player, Rodgers.
So it looks like he might factor, and he's cheap.
Very cheap.
He's
yeah.
cheap. He's like
throw him on your bench.
5 million.
That's decent. Throw him on your bench, maybe. Adam says, "What do you think of the new Champions League format? I really don't understand it, and I'm going to probably learn it as we're watching it.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about it yet.
I'm not going to overly think about it right now.
No, I'm going to take it in later.
It'll be interesting. I'm sure we'll get stitched up in some capacity. and City will not.
No.
As we all know, City never gets stitched up. I'm going to go now. I'm going to enjoy the weather. Go and enjoy that, Callum.
Enjoy the weather. I can feel the weather coming into this room. I am sweating bullets.
It is very hot in here. But no, I think that's probably as much as we need to say. During pre-season, it's always a bit quiet. Morning from Jason. So good morning.
Hello, Jason.
Yeah, the pre-season is always a little bit kind of quiet.
Yeah.
So we've got the signings, Calafiori, Moreno incoming, Smith Rowe out, Eddie on his way. We're hoping that there's talks of Sane, there's talk of Nico Williams. I don't think Nico Williams is the thing that's going to happen. There's talk of Gyökeres. There's talk of Ruiz, Fabian Ruiz from PSG.
Yeah.
That would be a really good signing as well. So by next week, we might have a bit more information.
Yeah, I think
maybe
we will.
Another signing. Maybe we'll have a win over Liverpool, which would be nice as well.
And we can get back to England and join in with the Emirates Cup vibes.
So by the end of this week, Rice, Saliba, Saka, and Ramsdale are back, and Rea are back in training.
Woo!
So once they're back in England, so they'll be probably playing a part of the Emirates Cup next week. So we'll have a full squad, hopefully ready for the new season. They've had a very minimal pre-season time off.
Yeah.
Jason just said Nico seems far-fetched. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Sane on the loan or something is more likely.
Yeah.
But we will see you next week on Gunners R Us on iTunes and Spotify. Give us a follow. Give us a 5-star review. It means a lot. And we're going to carry on TikTok now.
Yeah.
Because we are live. So, again, if you're just listening to this, make sure at 10 a.m. GMT, go to TikTok, Gunners R Us Pod. Give us a follow and watch our lives. We record live. We talk back and forth. Do any questions, things like that. And we stick around for a little bit longer once the podcast is finished.
Let's have a chat.
So, we don't end anything yet, do we, until the season starts?
We have no sign-outs. I've got to come up with some fancy sign-outs.
I understand. But as for the podcast, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.